Hello everyone. I am Dr. Shiv Kumar, Head of the Department Civil Engineering, GIMS Engineering Management, Technical Campus, Greater Noida. Today, we will discuss about the dome in this lecture. As we know that the dome are one of the most important part of the structural construction in civil engineering. The dome has a long history in the built environment and has been a design features of many different kinds of architecture around the world. The domes are prominent feature of the Persian, Romanian, Byzantine, Islamic, and Italian Renaissance design. In its simplest form, the dome is a hollow, semi-spherical structural element. However, there are many variations on its basic shape, and the building construction handbook described dome as double curvature shell which can be rotationally formed by any curved geometrical plane figure rotating about the central vertical axis. So dome is basically a ball-like structure, as we can see, and most of you have seen the dome, whether it may be a gurdwara, it may be a mosque. So you can see, or you might have seen in so many places. Here we can see in the image the shape of dome or the structure of a dome from an inner side of a building. The domes evolved from the arches, originally being adapted only to small buildings such as huts and tombs. However, the construction and design technique developed, they became more popular as a means of showcasing grand structures such as cathedrals, legislative buildings, and more recently, leisure buildings such as sports stadia. Yeah, here we can see the grand look of a building in which there are multiple domes have been constructed. In the center, you can see the large dome, and on the both the side, you can see the smaller dome on the building. Now come to the terminology part. What are the basic terms used in the different parts of the dome? Some of the terminology that is often associated with the domes include, the first one is the apex. The uppermost point, the uppermost point of a dome, also known as crown. Cupola, a small dome located on the roof or turret. Extrados, the outer curve of a dome, you can see. Haunch, a part of an arch that lies roughly halfway between the base and the top. Intrados, the inner curve of a dome. And the last, springing, the point from which the dome rises. Now come to the characteristics of the dome. The domes can be constructed from a variety of materials, from the traditional masonry and concrete to cast iron, timber, and steel. More recently, lightweight materials such as architectural fabrics and cable structures have also been used to create the domes. In most of the buildings nowadays, the fiber sheets, the fibers are used to cast the dome because the purpose of the dome is now different. It is constructed for the light and also to protect the inner side from the rainwater. So for the most part, these are not true domes as their components have an anticlastic shape. However, inflated fabric structures can be the dome shaped. Corbel dome. The back of Paleolithic construction. This is one of the earliest dome form, also known as the beehive dome. They are not domes in the strict sense, as they are formed by the horizontal masonry layer that are slightly cantilevered until meeting in the center. So they are maybe called as the some arches which are jointed and meeting in the centers. Now the next is the clusters vault. The cluster vaults, also known as the dome vaults, maintain a polygonal shape in their horizontal cross section. They are towards the center from the constant springing joint along with the wall. Here we can see in that images. The first one is the corbel dome, which is constructed by the stone, and here we can see the cluster vault, which is shown in the second image. Now, the crossed arch dome. This is one of the earliest type of ribbed vault where the ribs, instead of meeting in the dome center, are intertwined to form polygons, leaving an empty space in the center. The earliest known example is in Spain's Great Mosque of Cordoba, dating back to the 10th century. So here you can see in the middle, so here we can see that the polygonal shapes have been made and the dome is constructed over there. The next is cloister vault. The cloister vaults, also known as the dome vaults, maintaining polygonal shape, yeah, and the geodesic dome. Yeah, geodesic dome are sphere-like structures. It is a ball-like structure of a network of triangles. Here you can see that the steel triangles have been provided in between. The structural framework, whilst using minimal material, they are developed by the American engineer and architect Buckminster Fuller in the late 1940s. Structurally, it is very lighter in the weight. The next is the monolithic dome. This is the dome structure that is cast in a one piece. That is why the name monolithic has been given to this. The next one is the onion dome. These domes are characterized by the way they bulge out beyond their base diameter and the tapered smoothly in an ogee-esque curved profile. Their height usually exceeds their width, and they are often gilded or brightly painted. These are traditionally associated with Russian architecture, in particular their multi-dome churches. For more information, see at the Basil Cathedral. So you can see this type of dome was constructed in the Russian architecture. The next is the oval dome. An oval dome may be defined as a dome whose plane or profile or both has an oval form. The geometry is defined as using combinations of circular arches that transition at tangential point. So in the first image, you can see that the base is also the oval, and besides that, the curvature that is and the rise which has been given to the dome is also the oval in shape from longitudinal and the horizontal direction. Well, on all the sides, it is oval in shape. The next is the rotational dome, also known as the hemispherical domes. These are one half of the sphere constructed on a circular ring or beam. So here you can see in that second image the rotational dome. As far as this construction is concerned, as it was mentioned that the circular ring beam is provided over there over the periphery, and this rotational dome is constructed on that. The next is a saucer dome. So saucer dome is just like a saucer, which is shallower in profile than other form of the dome. So here you can see in the first image the saucer. It is shown over the building at the top. The umbrella dome, also known as the ribbed parachute or scalloped dome. These are divided into curved segment that follows the elevation curve, radial lines of structure that act as the dome ribs extended down and springing from the apex. So you can see that the whole building is constructed in the dome. Here you can see the shape, just like the umbrella. So this was about the domes, their shapes, their construction, their origin. In the next lecture, we will talk about the doors and windows. So thanks to all of you for spending time in my lecture or attending my lecture. We will again meet with a new topic, which is doors and windows, as I have mentioned. Till then, thanks to all of you. Goodbye.